Hi there, hi, I'm Mickey. For those of you that don't know me, and for those that you do, welcome back. And today, what we're going to do today is we're going to do a short series to help unravel all of those stiff places, all those stiff places. And I often say this, that the body is the recycle center of the mind. And that is sometimes very evident that, for example, when you're very stressed out about something and you're like, oh, I can't eat that, I'm too stressed out, I'm too worried, or loss of sleep where you're very anxious. But what can often happen if left unchecked, that can create stiffness in the body. And when people say to me, are you flexible, Mickey? This is just because this happens a lot. Are you flexible, Mickey? The very first thing I think about is mentally more than physically, because being flexible up there is where the beginning of being flexible down here is. And the same is when you're very rigid mentally, you can become very rigid and stiff physically. And the practice of yoga it is not something that I want you to feel that you have to do, that oh God, I've got to get on that mat, and then feel terrible if you don't. That is not what yoga is all about. If you never get to the mat for maybe a month, you can still be practicing yoga, because yoga is a way of life, and yoga really begins up here. It's not beginning down there. Although most people, certainly in Western culture, Western yoga culture, are introduced to yoga through the asana practice. And that's what a lot of people think yoga is, moving around on the mat. But yoga is a way of life. It's a way of interacting with the world around you, with the people, with the beings, with the plants, with nature, Mother Nature herself. And it's a way of the soul interacting with the physical body. And it's connecting all those dots, together. And that's really the practice of yoga. And what asana practice does, the wonderful asana practice, that's the physical practice of movement on the mat, is it helps us unravel, and it helps those magic things about life, the bliss, the samadhi, is revealed very often via asana practice. That what I call the entourage effect, which is at the end of your yoga practice, where you think, yeah? And sometimes that's only just like that, for a glimpse where you go, oh man, yeah, what was I thinking about an hour ago? It's fine, everything's fine. Just that in itself is worth doing, isn't it? That in itself is worth doing. That often, and I'm always sharing this from my own experiences, often when I can get and we all can get quite consumed to various different levels about the really what I call the nonsense of what is modern life. The nonsense of it all can be quite consuming. It can really get on top of you sometimes. And when you get onto the mat, that's the time that you stop the nonsense. You practice yoga. Yoga is this wonderful science, and that's something for another time. But today we're going to look at some of the ways that you can come to the mat in a very, very easy and open way, very accessible way, to just detox, to just come down from that fight or flight mode, that hectic, that there's no space up there, to a place here where you are in more of a rested, and that doesn't mean I'm lying down on my back, but I'm rested mentally, means that I've come down from that hectic kind of to, yeah, okay, now I can start looking at things. Now I can freshen up my perspective. And we're going to start today by sitting. You don't necessarily need any props. That's the other great thing about yoga. It's good to have a yoga mat, but if you don't, you can still do this. You can still get involved. and just a space, shutting the door, put the pets, the people, the world, let's shut it out for the next 30 minutes of your time, and let's just practice some yoga together. So coming to sit down, sitting, very, very important part of your yoga practice, to bring the left foot in first and the right foot in front. You can sit on the mat or you can sit on a little brick. It's very helpful if you have one at home. But again, don't worry too much about all these different add-ons. You don't necessarily, you don't need them. They're just additional little tools that make the whole thing maybe a little bit more pleasurable, maybe give you a little bit more depth. Sitting on that mat, and just let the shoulders roll down the back. Maybe you need to roll those out a little bit to just kind of let that, maybe even that feels a little bit like, oh, that feels nice. That the shoulder blades are not creeping around the side of the ribs so that you end up in a little bit more like that and the tail isn't tucked under. Really sit up. Take these critical first moments to start to become alert, start to notice, practice of just noticing. And that doesn't mean that being really hard on yourself, because quite often when we are noticing things, we're being really hard on ourselves and going, yeah, well, you should have done that like that. Yeah, well, if only you hadn't, done this or done that. We're not doing that. All that stuff is dropped. That's part of the nonsense. Resting there. Chin very slightly tucked in so that the back of the neck is long. Hands are resting on the knees. And just let the hands rest and the elbows are gently bent. So there's that triangle of space underneath the armpits. The head, quite often we sort of can be a little bit like that. Let's take that head back. Take it back. And then just softly closing down the eyelids. So just let the eyelids softly close, just like the curtains on a stage, so that the show is over now. And behind those curtains becomes dark and quiet and still. So that the activity has stopped. And it's only in these moments of silence and stillness do you get the opportunity to listen. And let's take that opportunity now. As you travel down the face, inside, down the throat, through the heart space, all the way down to the belly. And just imagine for this exercise that your nose was here and that you're inhaling and exhaling directly into here. So just closing down the eyes and focusing on that, so that almost feel like the breath is right at the center of your body, right at the center of your being, and that you start to notice the very, very subtle movements of the body as you're breathing, as the diaphragm lowers, the ribs expand, and your lungs fill up, all the way up. Notice them filling all the way up. Take a short pause there, and then notice that the diaphragm lifts and the navel's drawn gently in, and the lungs, if you like, the air, they start to deflate. Pausing, make sure that you go all the way down before you pause at the bottom, before you finish. Maybe you need to blow out a little bit of extra before you begin that inhale again. Maybe there's space for a little bit of extra at the top. And then softly exhaling. All the way down, all the way down, all the way down, all the way down. Again, do you need to blow a little bit extra? Let's do that twice more. Inhaling once again. Pausing at the top, a little bit extra. Let's pause for a little bit longer this time, so that the stillness and the quietness is getting a little bit deeper. And then softly exhale. Slowly, long, extended exhale. And again at the bottom. pausing at the bottom, pausing on empty, a little bit longer. And then fully inhale. One more little extra at the top. And then fully exhale. Stick the hands out in front. Connect the fingers and exhale the palms away. Roll over the sit bones, roll forward. Open up the front of the body on the inhale. And on the exhale, you're scooping that tail under, navel's drawn in, diaphragm lifts, chin into chest. Rolling forward, open. Exhale, release. So see the inhale as an opening up, creating space. And the exhale, releasing tension to also create space. Maybe just dislodging some of that stiffness that sits around the spine. Inhale fully. Exhale fully. One more. Inhaling fully. And exhale fully, chin into chest. Bring the hands down to the mat now. Roll over the knees and come to tabletop. Thumbs are pointing towards each other. So the hands look a little bit more like this. So they're not like this and they're not like this. So that the arms feel like they're nice and long. And that across the back, across the shoulder blades, rather being like this where the shoulders are collapsing in towards each other. See if you can smooth out that space across the shoulders. Pelvis is in a neutral position, so the back is long. And we're going to very, very slowly, slow-mo, cat and cow. On the inhale, focus on how the breath opens up the ribs and the tail lifts, and rotate the biceps forward. Extend and stretch the neck. Exhale, come up one vertebra at a time. Feel each beat of the spine move. And the chin in last. So you really kind of need to be moving at this kind of pace to make sure that each bead does move and that you don't miss out some of those places that you feel stiff when you're doing this kind of thing. So and not rushing. What is the rush? What's with all this fast movement kind of stuff? Let's do the opposite. We're going to slow it right down. Stretch the neck and then exhale fully. So making sure that that little bit extra, and then come back to tabletop. Lift the right knee off the floor. Lift the right knee off and then extend the right leg back so that the right heel is level with the right hip. So it's not this. And it's not a back bend either. In, straight back. Point that foot like you're trying to point something behind you. Rotate the foot and the leg in that leg socket here so that the leg goes straight back. And this feels very strong and stable. Create stability. Then extend the left arm forward, the biceps next to the ear. Create stability there. Take a full inhale, and on the exhale, we're going to bring the knee, the elbow, and the forehead together. Chin in tight. Then on the inhale, we're going to extend that leg back, and we're going to look forward at that left middle finger. Exhale it. Inhale, make that inhale last all the way to that extended position. And the exhale. 2 more. Inhale long. Point the finger, point the toe. Exhale. So when you're moving at this kind of pace, you're really feeling how you're moving. And then bring the hand down and bring the knee down. Let's go straight to the other side. So you're bringing the left knee in, then you're extending and lengthening that left leg back. You're turning the leg in that hip socket so that the left foot points straight back and the hips are level. Imagine I could balance that block on the hips. Become very stable there. Straighten the leg so that the leg isn't kind of doing this. It's really pointing back. Extend the right arm forward. I'm terrible with left and rights. Take a full inhale. And again, feel each beat of the spine move, chin into chest. And then extend it and lengthen it back. Exhale fully. Being really mindful that you're not rushing. And this is great work because we're very, very, very rushy, aren't we? Rushing to do this, rushing to do that. And it's an opportunity to take that right down. Exhale fully. Inhale fully. Exhale fully. Inhale fully. One more. Exhale fully. Inhale. Hand down, knee down, tabletop. We're going to do 2 cat and cow. Slowly again. And maybe if you've been practicing yoga for a while now, you notice that you're almost tempted to go into that flicking about kind of mode. Exhale. One more inhale. Exhale back to tabletop. Come back to kneel up on your knees. Step the right foot out to the side so that the side of the foot, we're on the side of the mat now, side of the foot is lined up with the side of the mat. Extend the arms out so it's like you're in a mini warrior two. You're looking to that right middle finger. So you have this openness across the hips here. Take that forearm to that right thigh and extend the left arm over so that you're lifting and extending all the way from that left knee, all the right of the left side and extending to left middle finger. A little bit more space, a little bit more flexible. Maybe you can bring the fingers to the outside of the right leg. Looking up at the left middle finger. Inhale, extend, exhale. Inhale, extend, exhale. Inhale, exhale, 3. Focus on your breathing. Fully inhale, fully exhale, 4. And then on 5, we're going to windmill all the way through that warrior two position and all the way to reverse warrior, where the fingers are walking down the outside of that left hand and you're extending over the top. 5 breaths in. Inhale, extend, exhale, release. 3, 4, and then on 5 we're coming back to that mini warrior two, stepping into the kneel. Let's go to the other side. Left foot inside the foot, lined up with the side of the mat. Arms out, eyes on the front middle finger, warrior two, mini warrior two. Forearm to thigh, extending the right arm over. So you're really lifting out of this right side. Inhale, extend, exhale, 1. Inhale fully, exhale fully, 2, 3. Maybe you can take the hands to the floor. 4, 5, windmilling all the way through the middle over to reverse warrior. 1, walk those fingers down the outside of that leg. 2, be careful not to compromise it so open across here that the knees are always facing forward. 3, 4, back to warrior two. Step the knees together, tuck the toes under and sit back on those heels. Sit back on the heels, toe squat. Tuck the toes under. Extend the arms out. So I'm going to turn around to show you this. Extend the arms out and bring the right arm over. Option 1, a little bit more flexible, you'll be able to catch those hands. Option 2 is to just catch your t-shirt there, Or option 3, if you have a strap, put the strap on the top hand, breathing there. Be careful that you don't end up kind of sticking out the ribs like this. Sit back, the weight back on the heels. 3, 4, and on 5 we're going to windmill through that center, and it's left hand up. If you're finding that the feet, the toes are going, ah, that's okay, most people are doing that. Come up, take some weight off, and then go back, rather than completely coming out. Stimulating those toes. Very important piece of kit, our feet. It's good to look after. 3, 4, and windmill out of that on 5. Bring the hands down. Lift the feet off and circle the feet. Wriggle the toes, circle the feet at the ankles in one direction and then in the opposite direction. Ooh, that feels nice. Bring the feet down and very slowly, keeping the heels high, lift the tail up and then exhale the heels down so you get a nice juicy stretch in the back of the calves. From there, walk forward and bring the toes behind the wrists and drop the head. Let's give that head a nice shake. The arms a shake, the wrists a shake. Oh. And then just come to stillness there. Lift the toes off, so stretch the toes off again. That feels nice, put them down. And very slowly we're going to roll up. But again, notice as you're rolling up that you're stacking the knees above the ankles, the hips above the knees, and as you come up once more, each bead of the spine stacks up one on top of the other. And then you come up and roll the shoulders out of the way, palm, fingers face down. Tadasana, notice, lift the toes up, put the toes down, and then lift the heels up, bend the knees, and we're going to come all the way down to sit back on our heels. Ooh, some cracking there. Let's go back up. Try not to, when you're coming up and down, be kind of in this position. Imagine your back is going up and down a wall. Inhale up, we're going to go all the way down again. Ooh. Cracking. Back up one more time. Bring the arms up. Bring the palms down your back into Tadasana. Inhale fully, exhale fully. Let's step back with the right foot. Circle the right arm so that you rotate on that back foot and open up those hips to the side of the mat. Let's do that once more. Bit like backstroking. 2. So your hand becomes like a paddle. 3. And get loads of rotation in that shoulder. 4. But another place where we get very stiff. Let's go the opposite way. Inhale. 1. 2, so you get a big inhale, open up. 3, 4, 5, right hand stays behind you, the wrist and the elbow are shoulder height. Extend the left arm up towards the ceiling and straighten the left leg, so you're extending the whole of the left side to left fingertip. Take a full inhale and then extend and lengthen. Go as far as you can with the whole of the left side. And for most people, you'll be bringing the fingers to the shins. Try not to turn this Trikonasana into this kind of shape. It's really this shape. This is a lot better than this. Notice so that you're not sticking your tail out, you're not sticking your bum out, and you're looking up at the top hand. How you get that length to the foot is lengthening the side of the body. 3, 4, and then on 5 we're coming back up to that super extended on that left side. And now we're going to turn around, we're going to rotate so the right arm comes forward and the right hand can either come to the shin or to the knee or to the floor. Bring the left hand around the back of the waist and rotate around. Rotated triangle. 2, extending, lengthening. 3, 4, and on 5, windmilling back up again. Back in the starting position. Step to the front of the mat, Trikonasana. Let's go to the other side. Stepping back with the left foot. Back stroking back with the left hand. 1, 2, rotating that arm in the socket. 3, 4, 5. Let's go forward, forward, front crawl. 2. So opening up these hips to the side. 3. Focus on the arm rotation. 4, 5. Extend that left arm out behind you and extend the right arm. So you're extending from the right middle toe, straighten the right leg. Inhale, and on the exhale, the length, you get to the floor or the foot, if you like, not by collapsing forward, but by lengthening the whole of the right side. Most people, you'll be up here. Notice the triangle shape here. That's why, weirdly, that's why it's called triangle. 2, 3, 4, and on 5, lengthen. Inhale, come up. Exhale, rotates. You're rotating, that right arm comes around the back and the left fingers come to the outside of the right foot. 1, 2, keep rotating. 3, 4, and on 5, windmill. Back to the extended position, step to the front of the mat. Inhale fully, exhale fully. Inhale, exhale, fold. Inhale, extend and lengthen. Exhale, hands down. Stepping back right, stepping back left to plank. Knees down, tail up, rotate those arms, chin in between the hands. Inhale, exhale, relax the legs back. High cobra. From high cobra, bum to heels, tuck the toes, downward facing dog. And from downward facing dog, you can either walk to the front of the mat or jump to the front of the mat into a squat position, where the tips of the elbows are inside the knees. That helps to open up these hips. Looking forward. 3. I'm going to come to the front again. 4. And on 5, we're going to sit down straight to Navasana. So use the hands at the back of the thighs to sit up nice. Send the right, stand the left, look up at the toes. 5, 4, we do this all the time in class. 3, 2, 1, 5, 4 with practice. 3, 2, 1, float. 5, 4, always look at the ceiling. 3, 2, 1, back up. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Wrap the index and the middle finger around the big toes, extend. Flex the feet, inhale fully. Exhale, calves down first, knees down second, so that you're in this forward fold position and that the pelvis is tilted forward. Yeah? If your pelvis is in this position, you're never going to be able to come to a forward fold. Extend, fold. 5. For some people, that might be here. For others, it might be here. Don't worry, concern yourself too much. Focus on the form, and that's getting the ribs towards the thighs. 3, 2, 1. Inhale, come up. Step the right foot in. Open the right knee out to the side. Again, a bit like we did at the beginning. Open. Exhale, fold. 1, 2, again, you want to have that sense of length with the back. 3, so that you're not collapsing down, no chin into chest, keep the neck long. 4, 5, straight to the other side, left foot in, open the knee, inhale, open, exhale, fold. 2, 3, 4, and on 5, coming up now, swapping again. Stepping the right over the left, left arm forward. Let's wrap that around that knee and twist. 1. Inhale fully, exhale, rotate. 2, 3, 4, and on 5, unrotate. Let's go to the other side, stepping the left in, left over right. Right elbow wraps around left and you rotate around. So as you inhale, you sit up, exhale, you rotate. 2, 3, 4, and on 5, unrotate. Extend the legs out in front of you. We're going to finish nice and simply. Lengthen that back along the floor. Extend one leg up and the other leg up. Waterfall. So if you're doing this video again and again, you could pause it here and stay here for a while. Stay here for 5 minutes. 3, alternatively, let's do it together. 4, 5, knees into chest. Wrap the elbows around the knees and bring the forehead into the knees. Then lengthen the back of the neck down. Relax the left hand and bring the knees to the floor on the right. Tuck the right shoulder under and look over to the left. 5, 4, relax that tummy. 3, 2, and on 1, we're going to bring the knees through the center again. If it feels good, squeeze it in. Topple them to the left, looking over to the right. 5. Relax the tummy at the exhale. 4, 3, 2, and in 1, bring the knees back to center. Straighten the right, straighten the left, and we're lowering down for 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Inhale fully, exhale fully. Staying there, lying down. And this is the point, isn't it, where you're like, ah. See what I'm saying? This is the point where you go, oh. And perhaps it's only an ah, but with practice that ah will last a lot longer. Maybe it'll last the whole day, the whole night. Take your time. Roll over to one side and come up to sit. Taking your time. We're back to where we started and we're still in that mode. Let's take a moment to close. Hands rested on the knees. Softly, softly closing those curtains again and just enjoying